Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's great to see you all today.
That is right. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Find a seat. Find a seat. Good to see you all. You didn't know that we could see you too. That's a new feature this year. We're peeping into your living rooms. Mr. Mullet, please put on pants for the love of God. This is a charity stream. Welcome to the Polymedia Network's 24-hour charity stream, the 2025 edition. We're so glad you could join us. And over the next full day, over the next 24 hours here, we're going to be gaming, we're going to be podcasting, we're going to be laughing, we're going to have a few technical difficulties more than likely, and we're going to be sharing a good time. Most importantly, though, we're here to raise money for an incredible cause, Doctors Without Borders. Now, if you don't know anything about Doctors Without Borders, that's all right. It's an international medical humanitarian organization that provides life-saving care to people affected by conflict, epidemics, disasters, anyone who doesn't have access to health care. They go where the need is greatest, no matter the circumstances. Every single dollar that we raise over the next 24 hours goes directly to Doctors Without Borders. We're using Tiltify to make sure that your donations are secure, transparent, and sent straight to the charity. Your contribution, no matter the size, can literally save lives. Whether it's funding medical supplies, vaccinations, emergency response teams, your support helps people in crisis right now. So, if you're able, please consider donating through the Tiltify link that's pinned at the top of the chat. You can also use the QR code on screen. You can do that over the next 24 hours. Please share the stream with your friends, your family, help spread the word, and let's show how powerful this small but mighty community can be when we come together. So, again, thank you so much for being here with us. Now we're going to be running through the schedule really quickly for all the streams that's going to be going on over the next 24 hours. So, first, you got to put up with me and Steve. You know, it's going to be about 2 hours of polykilling. You've seen it, you know it. You know, right? You know what you're going to get with that. Coming up next, though, we got Pam. She's going to be playing Blasphemous starting at 2 Eastern.
Yeah, and after that, the man, the myth, the legend, we got Captain Drachma doing boots and Gungeon. I don't know if you know, but he's pretty good at Gungeon. He's pretty great at wearing a fine pair of boots.
Usually one of my favorite parts of the weekend. A lot of good clips come from that man standing on one leg, showing everyone his ankles. At 5:30, we got Snestrunk coming in. He's picking back up with a 7-year dormant Let's Play of Chrono Trigger, his favorite game. You don't want to miss it.
And then right after SNES Drunk, I'm going to be taking a slot. And I thought, following up Chrono Trigger, I should probably play something equally as beloved, equally as revered. So I'm going to be rocking 2 straight hours of No One Can Stop Mr. Domino.
I'm wondering if you can.
We'll
We'll
see.
see. After that, 9 Eastern, we've got Petey playing a little bit of D. Right? And she's got the long box D too. Petey and the long D coming at you 9 Eastern.
Absolutely. Then, as we do every year with the charity stream, we've got a fantastic game show hosted by Kev with a great big panel of Polymedia friendly faces. So you're not going to want to miss it.
It's going to be great. 11 o'clock, Petey and Pam join forces once again for some live point and drink adventure. Do you like pointing? Do you like drinking? Do you like movies? Do you like games? Do you like TV shows? You're going to love the 11 p.m. slot.
Then midnight, Briz comes in, kind of steals my thunder a little bit. This seems like my kind of jank, but he's going to be enjoying some Disaster Report 4, which if you've never seen that game, you're not going to want to miss.
Disaster Report 4 could also be the name of our charity stream. 1 a.m. Eastern, we've got Mook and Mrs. Mook playing a little Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. Should be exciting.
Heck yeah. Then Frantic is coming in hot with an indie gem, hot off the presses, a game that came out like a day ago. It's going to be playing Clover Pit, which I believe is a roguelike that has something to do with slot machines, but you'll have to tune in to confirm.
Yeah, indeed. And then at 4 a.m. Eastern, and then all the way across the world, our good pal Guido's playing John Romero's finest entry to the gaming sphere, Daikatana.
And the Europeans keep holding this strong because it's 6 a.m. Eastern. Elite MYT is going to be playing an all-timer, one of his and my favorites. He's going in on some Balan Wonderworld.
For $20, you can say something bad about it. 7 a.m., Mullet and Muddy join forces for some Gunstar Heroes. Just some exciting 16-bit action with two 16-bit men.
Yeah. Then the stream at 9 a.m. Eastern gets real handsome as Vyar, Johnny, and Briz are rocking Fly Night Co-op, which is an indie Souls-like.
Just a perfect game for
Mm-hmm.
those guys at 10 a.m. The handsome don't stop rolling. Our good pals Poto and Scotch are playing a little 1v1 Lethal League Blaze. Will it be the breakup of a great marriage?
Let's hope not. Trav, why don't you close this out here because this last one is close to your heart.
Right on. At 11 a.m., Dylan and I will join forces for the last hour of the stream, begging you to get us across the finish line with a live We Got Goosebumps. We're going to be going through the Give Yourself Goosebumps Deadly Experiments of Dr. Eek. $15. You can tell us how to choose our next adventure in that book. So that rounds it out. It's a very exciting 24 hours. I'm really happy to be a part of it. Happy to have this great group of people help support this. So please get your donations ready. $5 in the next 2 hours, though. You can line yourself up and make that hot seat holla. That's pretty cheap to scald a man's buns. All right, so be thinking about what you want to ask us. Put the $5 in. We'll get around to it. Make sure you put your questions in the chat. And then with that, Steve, I think we're kicking off a Polykill podcast right now.
Here we are. We're doing it live. Excited to be here, Trav. Excited to talk to you yet again, you know? Every 2 weeks, it's the best time of my month.
That's wonderful. And hopefully your wife doesn't know that, but I really appreciate doing this with you. Lately, we've been doing a lot of live ones, and they've been going pretty well to the point that I'm a little worried technical difficulties could rear their ugly head. But I will say this year, we did not have to use Google Meet like we did last year in the 11th hour because we had
True.
limited Google Meet minutes. This year, I think Discord's going to let us have this. I think
I,
we can do it.
I think they're going to let us come through. So, yeah, as far as I know at this point, everything seems to be working. All the bits and bobs are, firing as they should. But I think it's probably pretty important that someone sends in a donation so we can confirm that the donation tracker's working.
That is true. Little nervous, already 10 minutes in, sitting at zero. I mean, somebody's always begging to be first in these things. Where's the $5 for the first comment, like in a YouTube video? Come on, send it in. Let's do it. Well, Steve, how have things been going for you lately? Streaming Doctors Without Borders aside, has anything happened in your life since I talked to you last that the people watching this would fucking care about?
I think they care about everything in my life, right? No, dude, my kid, he's like a sneaky little assassin or something. So he came home with like some sniffles the other day, as
Oh
a 2-year-old
no,
is wont to do. Just a little runny nose or whatever. He didn't
they
pull
do
a
that.
fever, no stomach bug, nothing. He just had some runny nose for a day or two, and then he powered right through and kept on living his life. You wouldn't even know if I didn't, stop him to try to blow his nose and get yelled at. But he passed that off to me and to my wife. And we've just been going through this like week-long roulette of symptoms. Every day you just roll a big board and just and you're like, "Oh, I got joint pain and no runny nose today. Oh, okay, that's good to know." So, that's probably why you're hearing me sound a little bit more bassy than normal, but other than that, I think we're making it through.
I'm learning in my 40s now what post-nasal drip is. Sometimes I just, I have a little bit of a runny nose and like my wife's like, I think you may have some post-nasal drip. But now I know when my daughter comes home with a runny nose, that's pre-nasal drip for me. It's about to happen. I'm about to get some nasal drip. So the kids do stay pretty sick. I wanted to also bring this up. Speaking of, in a meta sense, you and I, we spearhead the bingo challenge here every year. We've got the Polykill bingo challenge. And I don't play a lot of actual bingo, but at my daughter's school, they were doing bingo night. And you could go bring your kid. They do a little bingo. Kids could win prizes for winning the bingo. Parents get to play too,
Mm.
right? You play a few rounds. And I kind of rolled my eyes at it because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be in an elementary school with a bunch of parents I don't want to deal with, a bunch of screaming kids after hours playing bingo. But let me tell you, dude, within 5 minutes, I was the most competitive bingo player out there. And I was like, I'm going to be a riot in the nursing home. That's all I could think about. I was like, it's weird that the kids are loving it now. It's like the beginning of your life and the end of your life is sort of characterized by how fun bingo can be. And it's dumb because you have no control over it. You're literally handed a card and there's, you know how bingo works. I don't know why in me I was like, I gotta win. I need to win.
I
I need to
mean,
win this game of chance.
I was gonna say bingo, famously a game of skill, so I'm not surprised that you got really
Ours
competitive.
is. Our version is a game of skill. Oh, we got some donations in. We've already hit the $90. We're at 2%. Thank you
Oh,
so much. Thank you so much. We didn't get the ding dong. I don't know if that's something that didn't get built in, but we got the 90. Thank you so much to whoever donated. We really appreciate you. Maybe we can
absolutely.
sort out a notification as we go here. But while you're looking at that, because I know you're clicking around looking at something, I do want to say here in the 11th hour, you've added a game to the coming soon. Because I'm assuming you thought I would pick it up, but I didn't. So just throwing that out there. That's all yours. I don't know anything about that one.
Oh,
But there are, last time they came out with what, like 8 games you wanted to play? How many of those did you buy from the last coming soon? There's so many. How many did you actually get?
oh, okay, that's fair. If I'm looking back and trying to remember, it was like Sonic Cross World. So I did buy Silent Hill F,
Of
which
course.
spoilers we're going to be talking about here in a little bit. I can't say no to a new
Hmm.
Silent Hill game. Um, I did not buy Trails in the Sky. I don't have time for an RPG right now, but I do want to play it. I did not buy Baby Steps. It's a little too silly for the scary season. I did
Right.
buy Hades too, but that's all Leah. It's not for me. So I hit about 2 out of 6,
Not
33%
bad.
success rate. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I don't remember what games I had, but I didn't get any of them. So Uh,
Oh,
I'm not
that's
throwing
okay.
any shade at you. I was just checking. But we do have some coming out here September 30th through October 13th. Some big franchises that are hitting.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking forward to?
So, I mean, a couple of these are remakes, which is interesting, but I suppose that's just kind of the landscape that we're in. But first up, and probably most exciting for a lot of people, coming up on the 30th, so just a couple days from now, is Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. So, this is a beautiful looking kind of, I think, relatively ground up remake of Tactics. I'm not entirely sure on that point, but I haven't played Final Fantasy Tactics since probably 2002, 2003, but Tactics maybe more than almost any game of the PS1 era. When I hear like the music or the sound effects, it just sends me back to my like early teenage years. When I hear the sound of one of those characters falling in battle where it's like kind of like a oh, and it's got this reverb on it. Oh, man, there's nothing sweeter. So I'm really excited. This is a really good opportunity for me to kind of force my own hand and go back and play a game that I've often said is one of my favorites. But what about? Are you excited for it? Are you pumped? Are you a tactics pervert?
I love the tactics genre. I've not touched either or any of the Final Fantasy ones, but I do aspire to do that. I often wonder, like, should I be playing all the other Final Fantasies to appreciate tactics? And I'm not sure that's true
Hmm.
since Final Fantasy are usually sort of serial entries and not so or episodic. I don't know. They stand alone typically, so I don't know that it's a big deal that I haven't. But that's always in my head. Also, I didn't know how you pronounced Evilise. I was saying Ivalice, which made it sound like I have lice, which I didn't want to say out loud. So I'm glad you cleared that up.
Well, it's tricky because you got Live Alive, which is a Square Enix game, but this is Ivalice. So I think it is. I don't know. Someone will correct me. Um, but yeah, it's exciting times. PlayStation 5, Series X, Switch 2, as well as all the old systems: PS4, Xbone, Switch, and PC. They're just shotgunning it onto everything. September 30th.
Very cool, man. September 30th. September, strong month. Maybe our strongest month of the year for gaming so far for releases.
I think quite a strong one. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of strong ones, we got a strong question here from Pam Trav. So I'm gonna cook you a little bit. Little
Oh,
mid
good.
coming soon hot seat
Yep, I'm ready.
says, on the topic of Silk Song, if you were a bug, what kind of bug would you be?
Whew. I tell you what, I wouldn't be. We've got this infestation of lantern flies here in my region,
Mm.
and there's like almost an executive order to stomp any one of them that you see, and I do. I enjoy it. I've been walking around the city, literally, like while I'm at my internship between buildings, looking for lantern flies, all dressed up, and I'll see one land on a tree. I'll run over. I'll kick the tree as a man in an office uniform. It's very fun. So I don't want to be that. But I would love to be whatever bug figures out that they can eat lanternflies because you got good eating. All right. I don't know if that's a praying mantis. I don't know if there's a bug called the lanternfly eater, but I want to be that bug because good eating out here, man. Because these things are thick and juicy. They make a satisfying crunch when you stomp on them. Hell
Hmm.
yeah. I
I've
want to be
never
a
seen this
predator.
before. Man, these look like something out of a horror game. They're like speckled, kind of
Yeah.
brown and black, and then when they open their wings, they've got like this blood red
Yeah.
interior. Oof.
Now imagine hundreds of them everywhere.
I would prefer not to. Strongly,
Yeah.
in fact. So, all right. Solid answer, solid answer. I think if I could be any bug, I would probably be a fruit fly. And because first off, you get to eat a bunch of delicious fruits, right? You get to snack on bananas, apples, pears, peaches, etc.
Yeah.
But also, I would fly to my kitchen and I'd convince all the other damn fruit flies that this house sucks and that we need to stop being here. We with a 2-year-old, sometimes bananas get hidden in creative places, and we found a science experiment cooking in the corner of our house one time that unleashed a cloud of fruit flies, which we've been dealing with them. We've been taking them down. I swear, we got them down to the last 2 fruit flies, and then they went and
Mm.
stole away into the corner of the house and procreated and burst forth a whole entire new crowd of fruit flies. So crowd of fruit flies. That's a tough one. And so there's
Mm.
no, I think, human based remedy. I think it has to be more of a political solution coming from within their own ranks to get them to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know if I would have went with fruit fly, but I like your reasoning. Get on the inside. Get in on the inside. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
absolutely. So thank you, Pam, for the question
Indeed.
and the
Indeed.
donation.
Yes, yes, and I know Pam is busy working out our notification issue at the moment. So thank
It
you, Pam,
it just
for.
worked. One came through.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, thank you, Pam, for whatever you did. Magic. Let me squeak in here real quick, if you don't mind. May I, please?
Squeak,
I've got
squeak
one.
away.
All right, I'm gonna squeak one. Ghost of Yotai. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I watched the trailer 4 times and I never picked up on how they said it. Maybe they
Hmm.
didn't say it. There's a good chance that they in the game they don't say this is the go. They didn't probably say it. I liked Ghosts of Tsushima quite a bit. Maybe one of my favorite games from the last. God, do I have to say 10 years? Has it been that long?
Oh my gosh, that's rough. Almost.
Oh my God, it is. Oh, that is sad. But we're looking at a game that is a very strong looking sequel. It's a continuation, but not so much character to character. It's a different, um, a bit of a different vibe. All right, because we've got it's 300 years ago, it's 1603. We're in Ezo, I believe it's called modern Hokkaido,
All right.
and as opposed to all the fields and the wispy fields that you got, the hills and the valleys and the soft landscapes. This time we're getting some pretty wild, unforgiven frontier, some
Hmm.
terrain, some rocky cliffs, some snow. We got a protagonist, Atsu, haunted by a family tragedy, and there's 6 dudes responsible for this. She's got to go hunt them down, sort of. What was the name of that? Was it Shadow of Mordor, the old Nemesis style, right?
Yeah.
She's got to hunt down these dudes any order you want. You don't have to hunt them down in any specific order, which I kind of like. Kind of leaves it up to you. I think it's open world like the first, but I've been hearing it's a little more concise, maybe a little less open world bloat, a little more focused. So maybe that's good for some people. I don't mind a little bloat, but
Hmm.
some people, they want it more concise, and you're going to get that here. Very much hinging on revenge and survival, which are my 2 favorite things
Sure.
in
Yeah.
general. Love it. That's why I like Far Cry so much, probably. Um, and I mean, it just looks breathtaking. Have you seen trailers for this, Steve?
I have. And it made me say to myself, I should probably go back and finish Ghost of Tsushima before I play this one.
Dude, we have a heroine at the in the lead role, and you get new weapons. Swords, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You're getting some firearms. You're getting some dual swords. You're getting all kinds of crazy stuff with this. So it's going to be a good time. And it's reviewing really well, and it just overall feels like darker,
Yeah.
which I kind of like. I don't know. It's going to be a really cool continuation. Can't wait to one day get a PS5 and try it. We'll see.
You'll get that
Comes out,
PS5 one of these days.
I hope so. Or I might just have to move in with Briz, because that's where I've been playing the PS5 most. October 2nd, though, here in a couple days. If you got a PS5, you should be getting Ghost of Yotei.
Yotei. Beautiful. Happy for all the Ghost of series fans out there. And
It's true, yeah.
seems to be a good iterative sequel. But before
Mm.
I drop into another game, Trav, I have yet another question for you. This comes in courtesy
Oh,
of a
please.
very generous donation from our good buddy, and I'll tee you up for this one. JJS Boys says,
Very cool.
have you ever, and I'm going to quote this is verbatim, so I know I sound
Okay.
sick, but I promise you this is word for word as Boyce wrote it.
Okay.
Have you ever had a dream that you could do anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
As in like a Superman dream? Like I have all powers? Like
I
one of those?
Open to interpretation. I gave you word for word exactly what it said. You can, analyze the constitution of Boyce as long as you want to.
I mean, I do love a good lawless dream. I just told you how much I love revenge and survival. A lot of my dreams are revenge based, and if I get around on my revenge, if I succeed, then follows that part of the dream where I'm getting locked up in prison, and I'm
Mm,
like, man, I really hope this is a dream. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't murder anyone. That
yeah.
happens more than I'd like to admit, even though I just did. On a Doctors Without Borders stream. I don't think I need help, but maybe.
Probably. Yeah. I don't have I'm not the protagonist of my dreams. I'm the victim in my dreams, okay? So,
Okay, we both need help.
I'm not empowered. One of my most common recurring dreams, this is like classic, maybe you should talk to a therapist. You might have anxiety, is I show up to the grocery store job I worked in high school, and I walk up to look at the schedule and see that I have been scheduled for shifts in the last 20 years. I thought I left the job, but they've just been keep scheduling me for shifts, and I'm late for 20 years of cashiering and cart pushing shifts.
And they didn't take you off the schedule.
No, they just built up 20 years of resentment, and they're like, do your job.
My gosh. My gosh.
So.
JGS Boy says it was just a yes or no question. We weren't supposed to actually talk about it. So, but
Okay. No. Sorry, no.
we have 2 hours to fill. So, we do what we do the task. But you got more games coming out, Steve. Let's
I do.
hear it.
Yeah. Another one I'm excited for, and again, I'm sure everybody's maybe even more excited for this than they are Ghost of Yotei. We're getting Yuka Replay. So this is the remake of Yooka-Laylee, the well-beloved 3D platformer following in the footsteps of Banjo-Kazooie. And they seem to be... genuinely, I really like Yooka-Laylee. I think it's a very fun game, but there's no denying that it has some problems. Like, it has these open worlds that are sometimes like way too big and spread out and sparse, and there's just like a little bit of cruft around the edges, a little bit of jank. Sometimes it's like almost adhering too close to the source material in ways that make it not work as well in the modern era. But all those kind of minor quibbles aside, I think it's like genuinely a very fun game. I know for a lot of people it's like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, but I give it a little more juice than that. But I'm excited that now they're doing this remake and hopefully can bring a lot of those people back into the fold, or bring some new young audience into the series and have them appreciate the game in like a more polished version. So I think this is cool, and I'll definitely be picking it up. Maybe not right on launch, but probably by the end of the year. It's coming out on all the new stuff, so PS5 series, Xbox Series, Switch 2, and PC. I'm really surprised that it's coming out on Switch 2 but not Switch. But I trust the fine folks at Game Informer who give us this list. It's coming out October 9th.
What do you think about that title, Replayly? Is that goofy or is that fun? Where you at on that?
I'm for it because, it's following in the footsteps of Banjo-Kazooie, right? Like, they named it Banjo-Tooie, and there were rumors of a Banjo-3E. So I think Yuka Replay, pretty fun.
It's
Pretty.
Replay Lee. Don't forget that
Oh,
second L. That second L.
Replay Lee. Yeah, pretty on
Yeah,
brand,
yeah.
right?
I like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Just didn't know if I was supposed to or not. I wanted your judgment first, and then to give me permission. But I do like it.
No. And I got one more game here, but before that, I got another question from the fine folks that donate. And people,
Oh,
keep the donations coming. If our entire 2-hour episode is just us answering donation questions, that's fine. That's what we want to
we've
do.
done well by the doctors if that's true.
Yeah. So please interrupt our usual operating order as much as possible. This one comes in
Influence.
courtesy of a very generous donation from BT. Asks,
Okay.
would you rather have only complete in-box games with poor connection, graphical, and disk read errors, or only have perfectly pristine carts and discs? So loose, but they're mint,
Who's okay?
or complete in-box, but it's a little uncertain if they work.
Man, I want to be able to play it. So give me the pristine, playable version. I don't so much care about the outsides, because I can customize that if I want, if I need
Yeah.
to. I can just do that myself.
Yeah.
But I can't make a game by myself. I've tried. I'm just not good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little harder than you might think. So, I mean, that makes sense. I'm gonna walk you through my logic here. I'm very tempted to say I would go complete in box because for a pretty big majority of games, I could collect it complete in box, have the beautiful artifact that I love, and then play it, to quote our buddy, any way you can.
That's true.
There's
Yeah, that's
alternative
enough.
ways to play the game that aren't pulling it out of the box. I like the experience of pulling it out of the box, so I would feel like something is missing. And the fact that this is written to say that like sometimes they work, sometimes they don't is a little more stressful to me because I want it to work all the time or none of the time. But where that breaks down is one modern stuff. Like, every PS5 game I buy is complete in box. And so if every single new game I bought off the shelf had like a 40% chance of working, I can't emulate that. I can't go emulate Silent Hill F day of, probably.
But there's digital versions, right? You could always download the digital.
I suppose, yeah, I could download. All right, you're convincing me. Yeah, I think the most important thing in life is to have complete in box CDI games with the outer sleeve. So I'm going to say complete in box, but none of them work.
I mean, if it comes to the CDI, that's basically how it is now anyway.
The data on the actual disc is the problem that has poor connection, graphical issues, etc. It's not the quality of the physical hardware.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
I mean,
All right.
also too, if it's not, I mean, I'm just also saving money. Saving money.
That's true.
Gotta save the money. But anyway,
Yeah.
you got one more. Let's hear about it.
All right, we got one last game. I thought you were a fan of this series. I guess I misremembered.
I mean, I should be. I just have never played any of them. I assuming you have. Maybe you'd be better to talk about it.
That's fascinating to me. But yes, we have on October 10th, Little Nightmares the Third. Number 3 in the Little Nightmares series is coming out. This has been a weird one because I had no idea it was coming out for the longest time. I was like, oh, I didn't know that there was going to be a new Little Nightmares. That's kind of cool. And then after that, I thought it came out for a long time. And so now when it showed up on the list, I'm like, oh, I guess now it's finally dropping. But yeah, I've only ever played the first Little Nightmares, but I thought it was really fun. 2 has been on my to-do list forever. Basically every October, it's been in my like stack of maybe I'll play this year. It's just never risen far enough to the top to make the cut. So not one that'll play right up the gate. I'm not going to play Little Nightmares 3 when it releases, but I will definitely be getting around to it at some point. And it's cool for the Little Nightmares kids out there that there's more Little Nightmares. I feel like when the first game came out, it was a little more unique, and now more people have done like the Little Nightmares thing. But I think there's still room for them to impress. They haven't missed so far. I played the mobile game like that. I played the first game like that. So looking forward to it. Yeah. Mm.
Whispers in the chat say it's a little more co-op focused. So
Oh,
maybe that speaks to the couch co-op that Briz and I typically do. We'll see. I don't know. He might have. I don't know if he's familiar with the. I don't know if he's played any of them. We'll see.
I love that. Well, I'm always down for more co-op games. After Split Fiction, I've got a hole to fill in my life, just like I have a question to fill with my mouth, courtesy of our buddy LHC Greg. Very generous donation with the Elite 13.37. He asks you,
Hmm.
Trav, rank the following desserts. He asks
Okay.
both of us, but I'm going to make you go first.
Sure.
Brownies, cake, cookies, pie. There's a
Okay.
very obvious correct answer here, so let's see you get it.
I'm a big pie head. I got to lead off with pie. I love a fruity filling. I like to pair it with a little ice cream. You get a little warm, get a little cold. You can do a cold pie. Pie's versatile. Love a pie.
Yeah.
Love the shape of pie. It's like pizza, but it's pie. And there's also pizza pie. Could pizza count as pie? Sure, I'm gonna do it. Whatever. So pie's number one. Number two, I gotta go with cookies. You get a lot of variety. I like the Girl Scout cookies. I can pop a Thin Mint sleeve down without hardly chewing. I'm just that kind of guy. You can also pair it with a little milk. It's very good. I gotta go brownies next. I like 'em warm, I like 'em gooey. Fresh out the oven, popping a brownie. Hell yeah, dude. That's where I'm at with that. Cake, not so big on, unless you can pair it again with ice cream or keep it cold. Maybe it's a cheesecake. I say keep it cold. Keep it cold. I like it. I don't like a warm cake. I don't like a lot of icing. I don't know. I'm just not a big
Yep.
cake guy. I'm not a cakey fella. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your list is spot on exactly how I would rank it, but let me go through my logic here. We are this is why
Please.
we're
Yeah.
co-hosts, all right? It's
Yeah,
lockstep.
yeah, fill time. Let's do it.
S rank pie. Pie is the pinnacle dessert. It is the best
Mm,
dessert you can have. You can get
100%.
any manner of fruit pie. You can get like a hearty pie. You can get a savory pie. Especially like, give me like a strawberry rhubarb with a little
Ooh.
little dash of vanilla on there. So good.
Oh.
So that's S tier. I don't think there's any A tier desserts here. Cookies, B tier. I'm gonna say cookies B tier
Well, give me an
because
example of an A tier. What are you skipping over? What's not in the list?
A tier, like a muffin. I think a muffin is an A tier
Really?
dessert. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Muffin's pretty low for me, but okay. All
No,
right.
muffin because muffin is like it's like the true realization of what cake should be. It is correcting the mistakes that cake have made and
Hmm.
incorporating some elements of pie to make it into an approved cake. B
Okay.
tier's cookies, I mean, they're a staple. They're classic. Who doesn't like a chocolate chip cookie? You can kind of cheat with cookies. I don't know if you have crumble in your area. I don't know if that's a regional thing or
Oh
not.
yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes places will have a cookie, like crumble will have cookies that are just a cheesecake and they call it a cookie. And I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty good by cookie standards. I'm okay with that. Um, but also, the cookies got to be chewy. Chewy cookies, B tier. Dry cookies, D tier. If I have milk or something to dip them in, I guess maybe C tier. Brownies, C tier. They're fine. I never crave them. I'm never like, ooh, I need a brownie today, but I'm not saying no to one if they're fresh and melty. Then, like, D tier, like, what's a D tier? None of these are D tier, I guess. Like, a glazed donut is D tier. Who cares about a glazed donut?
Ugh.
It's, it's sticky and the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And then F tier, cake. Cake is the worst dessert you can have. It's terrible in almost any incarnation. Maybe the only good example of cake is carrot cake, which makes me sound like I'm 75, but it's true. Every other
I do
cake is
like a
awful.
carrot cake. No, I
Yeah.
do like a carrot cake. No, you're right. You're right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, glazed donuts. I don't like the film it leaves in my mouth. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, it's like doing the inverse of brushing your teeth. It's
Right?
like spoiling your teeth as you eat them.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan of the glazed donut, but I'm glad that we could come together, join forces, and rank those desserts. As that's just, and it seems like we have no detractors in the chat. Everyone is pretty much on board, so that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of cake haters in this community, which I appreciate. And a lot of
Seriously.
Crumble fans, which I also appreciate. So
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. You thought Crumble was just for you up there. No, come on. Everybody's got a Crumble, brother.
no,
Jeez.
usually it's the opposite. It's usually if something made it to us all the way up here, it means that it's pretty much spread nationally at that point. Not a lot of things
Nothing
start
comes
here
to
that
here,
aren't like
dude.
Culver's.
They can't even get to me. There's too many dirt roads and cliffs. If we get it, we're lucky. All right.
Mm.
Well, you got to beat them to bring them to the show in this particular section of the show. Uh, this is the credit section of the show, and the new thing that we started doing last time, just to pad the show, because 2 hours is too short. This needs to be a 3-hour podcast. We decided a little look back, little
Yeah.
look-see backsy. And so we go back 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, just a quick little, what'd you beat back then? What'd you think? 10 years ago, I finished for the first time in my life Luigi's Mansion on the old Nintendo GameCube. And I remember really wanting to love it. I liked it, but I found the controls to be a little frustrating for me. And maybe at the time it would have been good, but I think maybe, years later when I played it, I found it to be a bit of friction. But I love the
Mm.
theme and I love the vibe. I didn't love the vacuum cleaner.
I disagree strongly, but everyone's allowed their own opinion. It's okay. It's not a big deal.
It's
Um,
true. That is true. Everyone is allowed their own opinion, Steve.
Luigi's Mansion is an all-timer. Fix your head, but it's okay. My 10 years ago was Metal Gear Solid The Phantom Pain, which I was not a huge fan of. I felt like the minute to minute play, I guess, was fun, but it didn't feel Metal Gear Solid-y to me. Or maybe it felt like all the worst impulses of a Metal Gear Solid game put into one without any of like the flair or like the goofiness that I was really looking for. I don't know, something about it just didn't really click with me. It's one of my least favorite in that series, but it is what I was doing 10 years ago.
Gross. 5 years ago, familiar one, Hot Shot Racing. All right, must have played that like a
Oh,
couple weeks after you did. The old Jason Heine effect. Good game, good soundtrack. Good time.
yeah. Fantastic. It must have come out about five
I
years
think
ago,
so.
right? Yeah. We must have
Yeah.
both played it around launch to support our boy.
Mm-hmm.
5 years ago for me, oh, this is fun. 5 years ago for me, I finished Soul Blazer and Super Mario Galaxy on the same day. So Soul Blazer was like the second or third game that I ever finished on stream. And Galaxy, I
Were
think,
these
was just a replay.
replays?
Soul Blazer was the first time, so I played it for the first
Oh,
time in 2020. Galaxy was a replay. I'd played it before then in the mid 2010s.
in the same day, man. Woo, what a day. What a day.
I know, it's like, and on my list, this is like a little bit of reading the tea leaves here, but Galaxy is after Soul Blazer on my list, which implies to me that I finished Soul Blazer on stream, shut the stream down, walked out in the living room, and beat Super Mario Galaxy. Dude, I was firing on all cylinders that day. Couldn't be
Damn, you're in
stopped.
your prime back then. You're in
Yeah,
your prime.
I was.
Okay? Never again. Um, And then last year, I finally put away a game that took way too long to beat, Sushi Striker: The Way of Sushido. Too much sushi in
Mm.
that game. It could have been about, I don't know, 15 hours less, which would have made it about an hour long, and that would have been perfect.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I remember you enjoying it, but then politely asking it to stop talking to you, essentially.
Yeah, go away.
um, PDI agrees. Soul Blazer is best game.
Soul Blazer is
Lone.
best game. Is it better than Pi? Where are you at on that? Soul Blazer versus Pi. If you could have one
Ooh.
right now, what would you pick?
Like if I could have a slice of Soul Blazer or a slice of pie. What
Yeah.
what kind of pie?
Um, what about, I don't know what's your fruit du jour? Like a cherry?
Cherry's pretty good. If I got whipped cream in
Yeah.
there,
Oh yeah.
I think I'd have a slice of Soul Blazer. It's just too delicious. It's so filling.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, 1 year ago, Lone Survivor on the Vita, a little indie horror game. I was dipping my toe into starting up the spooky season proper here on the 28th of September last year. Lone Survivor is good. It's a little some parts are a little hard to know what to do, but I thought it was all in all it lived up to the hype. I thought it was good.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, that was our past, but our present. Let me count the commas. Uno, dos, tres. You're up. This is too many. I don't know why I tried.
Yeah, I've been on a bit of a VR kick this
Hmm.
last couple of weeks. Both PSVR 1 and 2. So, the first one that I played through and finished up is a game called Synapse. This I think its reputation is that this was kind of like the last game that PlayStation really put any like marketing and effort behind in terms of VR. I guess Midnight Walk had some marketing behind it, but I feel like Midnight Walk they didn't really sell it so much as a VR experience. Synapse was like after PSVR 2 had launched, they were like, check out this game. This is a reason to own this hardware. And it is pretty cool. It's a very stylish first person roguelike. So it's very fun in VR. The way that it works is you're kind of going deeper into someone's subconscious, which is represented by these black and white like scenes and vistas. So you'll be on like a black and white beach or like a rocky cliffside. It's like you're navigating through just different terrains that are all black and white, and you'll be shooting a bunch of enemies. So you're doing the VR thing where you're ducking in the cover and you're popping out and you're shooting with your pistol, your machine gun, or whatever. But then you also, in your other hand, have basically like Force Jedi powers, so you can
Oh.
grab like the crates that they're hiding behind and lift them up and throw them or smash them down on top of people, or eventually you get the ability to like pick up people themselves and throw them into each other. And they keep the loop like pretty tight in terms of how much ammo you have, but you always have basically unlimited force power. So you'll do a lot of like shooting to kill a couple guys and then like causing chaos and throwing like explosive barrels with your other hand, and then you'll run in to grab a couple pieces of ammo to reload your gun and do it all again. It's very fast paced. It's just a good like use case for VR. It's very stylish because even though all the environments are black and white, all of the like force power like psychokinesis effects have like this bright rainbowy purples and yellows, very striking. So it's a pretty fun game, and it is a roguelike, but it's not that hard of a roguelike, honestly. I think I finished it on my third run.
Oh.
Yeah, so it only took like 2 or 3 hours for me to finish. They do, as any good roguelike does, they do layer like you can like replay it with like tougher enemies or like added difficulty modifiers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's worthwhile to play on PSVR 2. And if you're one of like the premium members or whatever the higher tier of PlayStation subscription services, which not a lot of people are, but if you are, I think it's free still on that service. So if you have a headset, it's kind of a no-brainer. It's worth checking out.
It does look awesome. Like, I'm just looking at stills. I'm afraid to play a video right now for fear of invoking a complete meltdown of my hard drive. But is it? I guess it's only on PSVR. It's too bad that it's not somewhere I can play it because it looks really cool.
I think it is because I want to say I should have looked it up, but I think it might be Sony funded, or it might even be one of Sony's like second party studios or something like that. So
It looks really cool. Good choice. What
yeah,
made you pick that? Did you? Who told you about this?
I had known about it for a while. I just kind of randomly decided to pop it in. I was in the mood for something VR related, and then there that was, and I looked it up, and it had a very generous how long to beat, which is perfect for me in VR. If I look up something in VR and the how long to beat is like 10 hours, I'm like,
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I got that much VR. That's going to take me 3 months of dedicated
Yeah.
VR play. But you see, like, oh, it's 2, 3 hours and you'll get a successful run. I was like, okay. And plus, those are the things you want to do in VR, right? Is you want to like look down the barrel and shoot a gun, and you want to throw stuff around.
Yeah. Yeah. Good call, man.
Yeah.
Good job. Feel free to take another one or toss out this hot seat, whichever you choose.
Let's do a hot
Dealer's
seat and then
choice.
I'll take another one because we got
All
a
right.
very generous donation from Top Spot.
All right.
Says
Thank you, Top.
instead of by quantity, next week's Polykiller will be determined by the weight of games beaten. Like the physical, like on a scale, the weight. What is your new
Like of their,
strategy?
like of their, like the packaging, like the case, the disc or cartridge, like that kind of weight,
Yeah, I think
like the
so.
physical. Okay. Okay.
So, what's your strategy for that? And so, if you could optimize it, what would your be the strategy? And if you couldn't leave your house, what would your strategy be?
Oh, he's talking about like you can't just name a bunch of arcade cabinets.
Yeah,
Like it has to be in your. Oh, okay.
stuff you already
Uh,
have.
yeah, that makes sense. Whew. Well, I mean, probably the heaviest, in bulk. You carry an armload of Saturn games.
Yeah.
You're getting some bulk there. I have a few collector's editions that could probably add a little weight if that could count. Just with extra gadgets and gadgets in there, so I'd probably look to that a little bit. I was trying to think what's my most honking. Um, one that actually. Oh, you know what? Miracle Piano. That's have a full jazz keyboard in box that I think might be the heaviest peripheral that I own. I'd toss that in there. I don't even know if you could beat Miracle Piano to be fair. But I guess you could get to the end and just be good at piano. I don't know. That's a strategy.
I. It's beatable by some loose or
Yeah.
arbitrary definition. Okay, first off, I would start with a lot of like collector's editions, right? Like all these extra trinkets and tchotchkes. These are giving me the weight I need. So I got a couple over here: Animal Well, Outer Wilds. I'd be going through those for sure. But honestly, it'd be the Rock Band 4 band in a box, right? Like the
Uh,
guitar, the drum set, everything. That's got to be like at least 10 pounds, right? And then I could just burn through other Guitar Hero games because I got other guitars. I mean, this thing's huge. I could just
that's
play
huge.
this. I could barely hold
You
it
should
with
just
one arm. If I wasn't so strong, I wouldn't be able to do this.
you should just mail it to me, dude. You should just mail that to me. Luke, what's your company's FedEx account? Go ahead and put the account number into the chat. Blink's going to send me that guitar so I can have it.
And it's true. So Greg perfectly teed me up for my like ultimate closer is I could just play In the Groove if I stick the stuff in my house, which is like 300 pounds or something like that. So it's over
Yeah,
for
you only have to
you.
play one game. You don't have to even play multiple. One and done with that in the groove.
It's interesting that I guess it makes sense, but by weight, rhythm games bias to being the most successful. Never really thought about that connection, but it's true.
It is true. All right. It's weird that in you want to lose weight playing those games, but they bring the weight in this particular circumstance.
It's true. It's
Is
true.
that irony? I don't know. I'll have to ask Alanis Morissette. She basically ruined the definition for me.
It's a little
All
like
right, take
winning a
another one.
rainy day. Yeah. I'm gonna skip or stick to the PSVR 2, and another game I played through. I streamed a bit of this one was Happy Funland. So this came
I'll
out,
be
I
honest with
think,
you. I'm looking at pictures of it. Doesn't look very happy to me.
not at all. They picked a
Is that
terrible name. I'm gonna say that
is
right
that
now.
an ironic name? I don't know. Once again,
Yeah.
Alanis Morissette has foiled me.
uh, well, it's weird because the game takes place in an amusement park. You're going through a very Disneyland esque amusement park, right down to the fact that the mascot for this place is named Rocky Rodent instead of Mickey Mouse, and the like cigar chomping, heavy kind of mob boss energy owner of this amusement park is named Mort Grizzly instead of Walt Disney. So you know what they're up to.
I
But
I hope they have enough lawyers for this because they're tiptoeing around danger.
yeah, you get brought in. You get kind of like fan boated into this old abandoned abandoned amusement park that's in South Florida, and the bog is kind of like claiming it back. So
Mm.
there's like some swampy sections and trees growing into stuff and things like that. And you get brought in by somebody who he has a YouTube channel for exploring old abandoned amusement parks, and he was trying to explore this one, and then an alligator chomped his legs off. So he's
Aw.
like, I'm gonna strap a camera to your head. You should probably dodge the alligator, and you can go in and do it yourself.
Hmm.
And that all makes this sound like spooky, like you kind of envision like a Blair Witch style like creeping in, but this is very cartoony. It's very tongue in cheek. It has kind of like a Five Nights at Freddy's energy, but not even that scary. It's honestly, it'll jump scare you, every now and again they'll throw something big and loud in front of your face in VR, but it's not that scary of a game. But you're just kind of going through the different parks in this Disneyland area, solving some light puzzles, occasionally doing some tremendously janky combat, and getting wildly and intensely motion sick, which was the bummer. So I have the most medium VR legs. A decent chunk of games I can play no problem, but some games like this, oh, it just turned my stomach. I streamed it for like an hour and I had to stop. I was like, sorry guys, I got the VR sweats and I'm
Oh
queasy. I gotta
no.
I gotta call it. And I think there's two main culprits for it in this game. One is that with the control scheme, you can do a lot of moving in a direction that you're not facing. So you can be like looking to the side and walking backwards and stuff like that. It does have like click turn and vignette as some comfort settings, but it doesn't like kind of like lock you to moving, and it doesn't stop you from hurting yourself basically. And so to try to like optimize the areas, I'm like zipping and strafing and stuff like that, and it's just like oof. And then the other big kind of obvious part is that it's an old amusement park, so every now and again you get thrown on a ride and you're doing like a log flume or a roller coaster, or there's like a section where you're on like a Ferris wheel that breaks off of the base, and so it's like rolling and you're in the cart,
Oh.
which is
Oh no.
which is fun, but your stomach immediately just folds in on itself. It's like your brain goes into full panic mode. I don't know what's happening. This is not how society's supposed to be. So I had to. It's not that long. It's like 3 hour game, but I had to play it in like 30-minute chunks to get through it because it was just making me queasy. But I'm that dedicated to finishing my games that
Wow.
just
Too
had to
much
get
queeze
sick.
for the Steve. Mm.
Queeze me timbers, I said.
Oof. Have you ever yacked after or during a play on the VR, or have you usually settled it down before it got serious?
I've always settled it down. I've never yacked, but I've got the closest I ever got was Resident Evil 7 in VR. I played like 3 hours of it straight, well past after I like identified that my body was a little upset, because it was my first experience with like really queasy VR. And
Mm.
anybody that does get motion sickness in VR will know, even if you stop playing VR, you're like 20 to 30 minutes out from whatever your actual peak level of sicknesses is going to be. Like when you stop, it's going to keep escalating for a little bit, and then you're done. So I played too long and then it escalated after that, and I was like laying on my back on the couch with my eyes closed, heavy breathing like I was in labor. I was like,
Oh, no. You have
Leah,
to do the VR Lamaze. That's
yeah,
never
give
good,
me the
dude.
counter pressure. Come on. But I didn't actually yak. Although I probably would have felt better if I did, but I didn't.
Top Spot says his comes out the other end. So good for him.
Oh,
He doesn't even
wow.
have to stop playing VR when he gets sick. He can still
Yeah,
keep
he
going.
can just set up his VR in the right room of the house, and he's good to just keep going.
Just plow through. Well, that's
Yeah,
cool. I mean, I'm sorry it made you sick. I mean, what do you think? You recommending this one?
it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah,
I
it's
I
fine.
bought it kind
It's
of on
no
a lark.
synapse.
I found it at a GameStop for like $6, and I was like, a
Hmm.
VR horror adjacent game I've never heard of. I'll give this a shot. Why not?
Why not?
And it was fun enough to play through. But if someone came to me and were like, "Give me your VR recommendations," there'd be like 10 other games I would tell them to play before this one. But I
Right
wouldn't
on, dude.
stop you from playing it. That's my benchmark. Would I tell the average person to play it? No. Would I tell you to play it? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just crust hounds, dude.
Yeah.
Give me the jank. You're my dealer.
Yeah.
I need it in my veins. Put it in me.
A little bit of that nast.
Um, I don't really have a good segue here. I was going to say, speaking of crust, but I actually think this game is pretty decent. Sonic Adventure 2. I played it on the old Dreamcast. We finally got through it. Didn't have any more issues with my memory unit. We were able to make it through to the end, thankfully.
Good.
I forewent playing. Is that a word? Forewent? I'm gonna say it is. I forewent playing the Dark campaign. I just played through the Hero campaign. Now I know if you complete Hero and Dark, you unlock a last chapter that gives you like a complete ending. But you do get credits after after the Hero one, after the hee. I almost Michael Jackson after the Hero campaign. And I also realized that the Dark campaign, you're playing with Shadow, Doctor Eggman. I said Doctor Eggman. Well, who am I? Robotnik. And is it Rouge or Rogue? I never remember.
I think it's
Rogue?
Rouge.
Rouge. And they're basically this. They have the same abilities as the hero class. You're not getting a whole lot of different gameplay. You're basically duplicating the game. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm okay for now. If I ever want to come back to it, I'm going to consider that like a little extra leg of the campaign.
Sure.
But I was pretty happy with what I played through for the hero mode. It's a little. It's so funny to me. I think this is basically where Sega got the idea just to be overly dramatic about everything when it comes to Sonic, because there's military conspiracies in it. There's the world's going to end. I mean, it's so insane. But it is really fun. I do like how the different levels and the different characters are almost completely different games, but it's not mini games. They're like complete levels. They're well formulated, well designed. I thought it was a lot of fun. There is some issue with the camera. I say some issue. There's a lot of issue with the camera sometimes, where it's a little frustrating. I
Yeah.
think that's more of a mark of its time.
Yeah.
But it looks great. I mean, I was
Yeah.
blown away. Of course, I played it, on the Dreamcast through a PVM, so maybe I'm getting a bit of a bonus there. But it was really good. I think this one pretty much defines the Sonic 3D formula to follow. Of course, I'm not super familiar with all of the 3D Sonics, but I feel like this was the one that they always that Sonic Adventure 1. They don't make, maybe other than like what was the last one, Frontiers or something, a little more open world. They don't do a lot of Sonic open world. Everything is pretty much defined by Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
The only thing that I didn't really touch because I don't understand it, and maybe you can explain it to me or someone can. The is it the Chow, the garden? I don't
Yeah, the
understand what to
chow
do with those.
raising. Don't you feed them like crystals?
I was giving them stuff, nothing was happening. I mean, they seemed happy about it, and then I was like, okay, is that all you do? And then I just got to where I was just picking them up and throwing them in the water because I was like, that's kind of fun. So I was kind of mistreating them, I guess. But I
Oh.
don't really know how it works. So I kind of ignored that whole aspect of it, even though it was pretty cute. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I think, 7 to 8 out of 10 for this one. But fun enough. I mean, again, I really like those treasure hunting levels, and I
Yeah.
think that's the divisive part of the game. You
Hmm.
love or hate that, and that can make or break the whole thing for you. But I was super into it, dude.
Yeah, dude. They're fantastic times. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I appreciate that you're lying to everybody and telling them that you'll come back and play that other game sometime.
I
That other
might though.
campaign. He's not coming back, guys.
I
All
might.
right. It's
I
not going to
might though.
happen.
I
Nah.
might. You never know with me. If it's a bingo square one day, maybe. You know, you never know.
What's what's the last time you played DLC for any game on purpose? Not like the DLC was incorporated into the game. Like you said, I want more of that game. I'm going to play the DLC campaign. Because that's basically what this is on the Dreamcast. It's DLC for you.
Yeah, it might have been when Skyrim put out that thing where you could ride the dragon. I was like, got to do that.
All right. All
So,
right.
so don't know, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so a full high schooler's lifetime ago. Okay, so when you're in your mid 50s, we'll hit back that hero campaign. But thank you for liking it, because I like that game a lot, and it's a little divisive when it really it shouldn't be. If you don't like Sonic Adventure 2, I think you're thinking too hard about it. Get your head straight.
Well, listen, Sonic is divisive on its own for some reason. I never really
Yeah.
understood that. But even when you get, because Sonic fans they're wild, and they're honestly they
Yes.
kind of creep me out. And when something's divisive among them, it can get violent. So I try to be, I'm a little coy with my opinions around the Sonic fans. I'm like, ooh, I like them all. Don't hurt me. They're all good, right, guys?
I get along with Sonic. So certain Sonic fans, some of them are drawn art on a website that I shouldn't be
That's
clicking on my
true.
work computer. And those Sonic
Uh-huh.
fans are a little too hardcore for me.
100%.
But a Sonic fan is defined by their ability to think that a 7 out of 10 is a 10 out of 10. And that's like the code that I live my life by is elevate
Yeah.
those 7 out of 10s. So we're coming from the same position even if it's for different games. So I respect the Sonic ones out there. You're all doing good.
Mm. Okay.
All right, we're gonna go back to VR, buddy. Also, before I do, I'll remind everybody you can hot seat us at any time. A simple
Please.
$5 donation, and we'll cut right in and steal that question. For those watching this live, I even moved over the schedule block, which makes the symmetry of the stream all wrong,
Mm-hmm.
unless that pop up comes in. Hey,
And there comes Tom Hinheffer with a hot fitty. Thank you, Tom. Please put
we
that hot seat right in the old chat, please. We
We
need
appreciate
to
you.
know.
Tom did not ask a question, but if you're in chat, Tom, you're welcome to throw a hot seat question at us, and we'll be happy to answer it. So, thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much, Doctors Without Borders.
Yes.
Appreciates it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Back to VR, Trav. I played
Mhm.
through again. This is a replay for me. It was a trophy cleaning replay, but it was fun to replay. The Inpatient. You ever check this one out?
Oh, I've heard of her. Never checked it out.
So, bit of an adventure horror game. It's a prequel to Until Dawn. So, takes place on that same mountainside, but in like the late 50s. So, like half a century before the events of Until Dawn.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you are in like an old sanitarium up on that mountain, and something happens, all heck breaks loose, and you can imagine if you played Until Dawn what happened. And you get left in your cell for like a week, and then eventually break out. You're having to like escape this sanitarium, which is really cool. Um, and so it's kind of the game is kind of split into two chunks, both of which are interesting. The first is the very VR friendly section because you're kind of going day by day, waking up in the same cell. You have a cellie, and it's just you like kind of like feeling the pressure of being left here, talking through your anxieties with them, and then you go to bed and you'll have these really intense, very vivid dreams. And then once you get out of your cell, then it's more of like exploring the spooky location with a flashlight and all of that sort of stuff. And so it's a pretty fun time, and again, it's nice and short. If you like Until Dawn, it's like a nice little prequel to the sequel sort of deal. And yeah, it's not like on the level of Until Dawn or The Quarry,
Mm.
but it's like a solid. It is like a solid 7 out of 10 VR experience. Some good jump scares in there. Some that'll really get you in
Oh yeah.
VR. So yeah,
And I assume it's locked to the PS VR
I think so because it
ecosystem.
is developed by
Yeah.
Supermassive, and so yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, because you could, let's see, this is just regular PSVR, right? This is from 2018, so you don't have to have new fancy. I wonder what the headsets are going for these days for PSVR for the old PS4.
They're pretty cheap. After PSVR came out, they like dropped. I'm pretty sure you could get like a full setup, maybe minus the move controllers, but full setup for like 75 maybe.
Cool.
Maybe like 100 with
Maybe
the
one day.
controllers. So, Yep.
I'd definitely like to play this because I like the world, I like the game, I like the writing on those. So, and I completely forgot this existed. You just basically reminded me of something that completely forgot was the thing. So thank you. Look at you.
Dude, you're welcome, man. I'm happy to do it.
Snestrunk told me I looked like Jesper Parnovic, and of course I don't know who that is. Only Snestrunk knows who that is. So I had to Google it, and it looks like Flea wearing a bowler's cap. And I got to say, I do kind of resemble the man. So thank you, Snestrunk. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Also, I am wearing a Sonic hat, so I am on brand today.
Yes.
All right, I got another one here for you. Sort of in the same spooky vein that you're stemming from with the inpatient. Have you heard of the mortuary assistant?
I've heard the name, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about the game, so please tell me.
Oh, buddy, this is pretty good. I like this quite a bit. Play this with Briz. It's very short. You can get well. It depends on what you want to do. Let me get to it. But one playthrough of it, because you can get multiple endings, one run, couple hours. So this released originally on the PC back in 2022. I have the PS5 port, developed by Darkstone Digital. I don't know who they are or what else they've done, but I might want to look into it because I really liked this. First person horror simulation meets supernatural. So here's the setup. Your name is Rebecca Owens, and you're a brand new assistant at a mortuary, which means you are dressing up the dead bodies and getting them ready for either being put in a casket or to be incinerated, depending on what their wishes are. And you start the game, and the tutorial of the game is basically giving you a checklist and teaching you how to go through these routine embalming tasks.
Hmm.
All right, so on your shift, you get a body right in front of you, big old dead body, and you have to wire the jaws shut. You got to put caps over the eyelids. You got to drain the blood. You got to pump it full of all kinds of chemicals. You got to dress up the face and all that stuff. You got to check over the body, see if there's any wounds or anything. And so that's sort of the first leg of the game is kind of like this is what you're going to be doing, and that's your work shift. And then you start to get the feeling that there's some supernatural stuff going on in this mortuary. And when you come back for the next shift, now that you've got some experience doing it, the game leaves you alone with that and says, "All right, here's your checklist. You got to do this," but you're going to be interrupted with some supernatural stuff, right? Some
Hmm.
demonic possession stuff, and you get these notes from your boss, who's basically telling you that you got to do this. He knows what's about to happen, so he's like, you need to look over the bodies. You got to look for signs of demonic possession. If this happens, you got to you got to match some symbols. You got to find the demon in the mortuary. I mean, it's very spooky. It's very
Hmm.
trippy, and there's some puzzles involved in it. Really, it takes place in 3 rooms, but they do so much with what little they're giving you. It's very concise. And very spooky. There's a few jump scares. It scares you a few different ways,
Hmm.
and there's a number of different endings. So if you have to basically figure out which of the bodies in your mortuary is the one that is possessed and burn it, you can get that wrong. You can get the body right and not get because you have to get line up some symbols to make sure you're killing the right demon. You could get
Oh.
that wrong, and so you get different endings based on what you do. So if you wanted to play through it a couple times, you could get a different ending. And we got one ending. It was actually considered a bad ending, but it was actually one of the more exciting uh, cutscenes of the endings. I actually found that the quote unquote right ending was a little boring because it was just people talking. The ending that we got was very gruesome and bloody and pretty cool. So it might be worth it to play it through it because it's short. Um, but there's also we went on YouTube and we were like, all right, well, I don't know that we'll play this again. It was fun enough. There is a little bit of like I don't know that I would want to replay it a lot just because you are doing this task list, this mundane list of
Yeah.
activities on these bodies, so it could get old quick. But uh, we were watching the endings on YouTube. Just somebody had posted all of them, and there were a couple that were like there were new buildings and things in an underground dungeon and like
Oh.
things that we had no idea existed. So that kind of made me be like, well, maybe in a year or so, and you already made fun of me for this, but maybe in a year or so or something after we've had enough time from it, we could go back to it because it is short and we really did like it. I mean, uh, I did not expect it to be as fun as it was. I hadn't really heard much about it, and I really think it's one like, especially this season. If you got a couple hours, this is a good one. It's gruesome, gory, fun, spooky. It hits all the right marks, and I thought it was great. Mortuary Assistant.
That's awesome. I'll have to check it out. I'm excited to hear that it's only like an hour or two long, you said? So
Yeah,
just
two
tuck it
hours
in
at
wherever.
least. Yeah, a couple hours at least. But yeah, I mean, if you want to replay it, you would speed that up because you would less figuring out. Your first time you're going to be a little
Yeah,
slower trying to figure things out. So if you wanted to get subsequent endings, you could speed it up a little bit. But yeah.
that's very cool. Awesome.
Hmm.
I'm gonna probably check that one out.
You should.
We're going to take a brief break from the spooky because it just worked out this way. I get to look so smug. I get to look like I get to the highest horse because I played DLC, buddy. I played a
What?
DLC
Ooh.
pack.
DLC.
Yep.
Ooh. Put it in the game I buy. Don't make me go after more game. No, you're cool.
Yeah, you're cool. Especially this one was well done. So this is the I played the DLC for Sea of Stars. It's called Throes of the Watchmaker. Folks will recall Sea of Stars was the indie RPG that came out last year. Very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Throes of the Watchmaker was like their promised DLC campaign. They released it for free for everybody because the game was such a success. It might have been like a Kickstarter milestone. I don't fully remember, but it takes place in this kind of like sectioned off clockwork world where there's like some sort of like corruption going on, and people that enter it basically like generate doppelgangers representing the worst versions of themselves. And so some of the bosses you're fighting are like the evil versions of characters in your party, which is I thought was a pretty interesting like spin on things and a way to like make some interesting villains with relatively high stakes without needing to like kind of overwrite the larger plot from the game. And it was just really good to be back in that world, man. It's nice to dip your toes back in every now and again. I thought it was so fun to get back in and like mess with all those mechanics, and they were really smart about it. You do have to have beaten the game to play the DLC, but they didn't know like what anybody's power level would be necessarily, like what level they'd be at, and so the DLC is kind of its own like mini ramp of progression. So you get a different version of experience called renown. You get like a different currency called tokens, and so you're kind of building your characters and your party up from scratch with entirely new classes, entirely new movesets, entirely new skills, and doing it all in like a mini like 7 hour RPG experience.
Hmm.
It was really nice. It was some of the best parts of Sea of Stars, I would say, come in this game. So it's a good example of why DLC sometimes is worth playing because you miss out on some pretty awesome experiences for games that you might already love if you always skip over it. So
Yeah. I think you and I both have the same issue that it has nothing to do with the fact that it is a DLC. It is more of a matter of how to log and consider it as a checkpoint in a sheet of completions. Is it more of the old or is it new? And that's again therapy coming in handy when you need it. But no,
it's
that's really
true.
cool. I'm glad to hear that it was worthwhile. And it's one I've had my eye on too because I played Sea of Stars earlier this year and I really liked it.
Yeah, if you're ever craving just a little bit more of it, this is like the perfect length for that. Great music and all that stuff. So really super fun. It's also, I will say, people that played Sea of Stars and were fans of Wheels, the like little mini tabletop game that you play.
Mhm.
A lot of wheels going on in here. They knew wheels was the best part of the game. A lot of wheels. So before we jump into our next one, though, we got one from Sprite.
Oh, I know her.
Uh, yeah, she seems nice. I think I could
Hmm.
get along with her pretty well. She says, list the top 3 spookerdukers you think you have the best chance of. She says signing, but that feels like autocorrect. I think she means surviving, even if your
Ah,
likely survival rate is low. So, top 3 spookerdukers you think you could survive,
oh
even if the
man.
chance is low.
Well, fresh on my mind, mortuary assistant, because it's a rote list of tasks that they're provided to me, and I just have to solve a puzzle. I probably stand a better job of doing that than in something where I have to defend myself with a weapon or run or be smart on my own without having a list in front of me of things to do. So I'm going to say that's one where I at least stand a chance.
Okay.
Once you take one, you have one on the tip of your tongue?
Yeah, I would say when I played recently Heartworm, the enemies are all kind of like TV staticky, but they're very slow and easy to run around, and you have a
Mm-hmm.
camera that's pretty damn powerful. So I think even I'm not like a particularly mobile guy, but I think I could put up a fight. I got enough ducking and weaving to be able to make my way through those environments, and I don't think that they could get me.
Yeah, that's a good. Griped a little bit about the controls of the original Luigi's Mansion, but I think I would stand a pretty good shot myself. I'm pretty good at wielding a vacuum cleaner. It might even be a little bit more natural for me here in the 3D world to maneuver around and suck them ghosts up. So I'm going to say I have a pretty good shot to survive that mansion.
That's a pretty good one. Okay, okay. Let's see. I would not survive any survival horror in the Resident Evil universe. I would not survive any
Mm.
Silent Hills.
No,
Mm,
same.
I would not survive. Well, no, I would not survive a Fatal Frame. I would.
Oh no,
I would
for
put
sure
myself.
not. No.
I would definitely survive in Muppet Monster Adventure on the PS1 because that's just
Hmm.
like Kermit the Frog wearing a Frankenstein costume. I think I could probably beat him up.
Yeah, I like your chances there. Pretty good typer. I think I could make it through that. I think I could survive it. You give me a little keyboard to wield. Zombies are coming. I mean, just like the game itself, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at it. I think I could survive that. If I could type zombies to death. So,
There you go.
good question. That was fun.
Yeah, that's an enjoyable one. Appreciate that. Thank you, Sprite, for the donation.
Indeed. Thank you.
I'll take one more here.
Okay, please.
Yeah. So last one that I played through, both of these are kind of like cleanups in a way. One is I replayed through a game called Narcosis. This was part of the like trophy competition I was doing. I had to clean up some trophies in it, but as a result, I ended up replaying the game, which is an underwater survival horror game. And this is an interesting one, just in the sense that I feel like the game itself not that good. Like
Mm.
it's got some decent scares, and I like the idea a lot of survival horror set on like the ocean floor, because you're in like a bulky diving suit and you need to find oxygen in addition to surviving enemy encounters and stuff like that. But the problem is that the movement speed is just so slow and kind of clumsy because, again, you're in like a 500-pound diving suit. And so you've got these like thruster jets that barely move you at all. And the walking pace is like ridiculously plodding. So it's just not really that fun to actually play. It kind of gets in the way of the scares. But it was still fun enough to go back and revisit. I think when I played it last time, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. This time, I rounded that down to a 2.5 out of 5. So,
Okay.
not as good
All
as
right.
maybe my initial memory of it was. I was feeling a little generous last time.
Hitting mid. Hitting mid.
Hard
All right, very
mid,
cool.
but it's novel for being underwater. So if that means anything to you as a Spooker Dooker fan, go for it. Now, I said I was being generous when I scored that last time, but someone else is being generous. Go Hobo, go. Donated
Ooh.
donated a hot 25er. We appreciate you, buddy.
Oh, thank you so much.
And he says, who do you think would be the best kissing video game character? And I'll go first because the answer is obvious. Birdo. Birdo's all snout, all right?
Mm.
Like built for smooching. And it'd be a novel experience at that. Plus, every now and again, mid-kiss, you get a free egg out of it. What more do you
In
want?
this economy? In this
Yeah.
economy? Are you kidding me? That's
Yeah,
great.
it's like $1, all right?
Yeah. I'm hitting the same vein. Have you seen the tongue on Yoshi, brother? Have you
I
seen
have,
the
but
tongue?
tragically, I've never felt the tongue on Yoshi.
Right? So that's where I'm at. I would love, and plus, somehow still involves eggs. So there you go.
Sprite in chat very upset that we didn't say Wendy, one of Bowser's children. Canonically, is Wendy not like 9 years old?
Yeah, I
She's
can't kiss a 9-year-old. I refuse.
like,
That's just me, though.
wow, bold morals coming from this guy. We appreciate that.
That's just me. All right.
Uh.
Well, speaking of kissing, if you like what you hear so far, folks, be sure to check out our other podcasts. You can find them all on our website, polymedianetwork.com. I'm not sure did I say other podcasts or did I say website? I just had an aneurysm. But you can check out our podcast on the website, polymedianetwork.com. We got more shows there, including Drunk Friend. We just had an episode drop. We talked about Mario Kart, burritos, and the good old days, which I know sounds like every other episode of Drunk Friend, but this one is just as fun, if not better than the rest of them. So go in there, check it out, have fun, listen. But don't do it for the next 24 hours because you're with us.
Absolutely. And after those 24 hours, plus the extra 2 hours listening to that drunk friend, if you've still got more in the tank, go check out Indie Quest, your exploration of all things indie games. We had on a very special guest, a friendly face around the Polymedia sphere. We had on our buddy King Octavius, or you might know him as Rob, you might know him as Boxography, you might know him as the hunky half of the Classic Gaming Podcast. He's all those things and more, and he brought a banger indie, and it was a really fun episode, so please go check it out.
Yes, and you can check out Rob tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. He's going to be on that game show with Kev and Berger and Top Spot and Caleb Jerome Ross. We also, speaking of the charity stream, of course, we got Goosebumps coming later tomorrow, but we also have an episode coming this week. We got Goosebumps book number 36, The Haunted Mask 2. The Haunted Mask was one of our favorites. The sequel, will it hold up? Find out. And also, our good pals Pam and Petey released Sake and Silk Song on the Point Drink Adventure podcast. Of course, they're going to talk about Silk Song. Of course, they are. And also, you get a little Heartworm in there. You referenced it earlier. And a little Shinobi that I played last week. So go check that out if you want to hear more astute opinions about video games than we can provide you here.
Heck yeah. And if you want to get a hold of us in any way, shape, or form, the best way to do it is via email, polykillpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can text the show. There's a link in the show notes of every episode that you can text us.
That's right. And we also have a Patreon. If you would like to support our show and our network of shows, you can visit patreon.com/Polykill. Find a tier that works for you if you're interested in helping out the show and the network of shows. And it might give you even access to the old Discord, some bonus beats where our good pals sling out a few more beats. Feel free to check that out and see if you can find a tier that works for you.
Absolutely. And of course, the absolute best way to help the shows are, one, tell a friend. That's the true best way. But also, you can hop to whatever it is, whatever platform you're on, leave us a rating, leave us a review, and that helps whatever algorithmic boost. You know, because there's people that go in and they just say, filter podcast by most popular. What should I listen to? And we want to be at the tippy top.
That's right. The tippy top of the most mediocre but best mediocre podcast. All right, Steve, we got to play them to beat them, by God. And we're both playing one together. Maybe we'll save that for second. And the other one that you're playing is a lot more, I don't know, exciting than what I'm playing. So let me go first is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I told you earlier I'd love to tongue kiss this guy, so I started playing Yoshi's Woolly World. Now, I wouldn't want to tongue kiss him while he's woolly because I get hair in my mouth and I don't like it. But, I'm trying to beat a game on every platform that I own, and the Wii U happens to be one that I own there. And I don't have many games left for the Wii U that I've not completed. But this was actually one that I was excited to get to because I'd always heard good things about it. And even though, yes, the Yarn Yoshi amiibos were annoying because they were everywhere, and I was like, get those out of here. I want other ones. I do find that the game is extremely fun. I really like it. To me, as somebody who, I'm not a super duper Nintendo head.
Yeah.
But they always have a great their level design is unmatched, and I think that the level design in Yoshi's Woolly World among the best that I've experienced within a Nintendo game, and I'm certainly liking it a lot more than I like more. It looks really good. The whole yarn aesthetic, I didn't know that I'd be into it, but they do so much with it. And I haven't done any of the amiibo integration, but I know that unlocks, alternative patterns. And I didn't know that I would be into that until they made collecting different colors of yarn part of the game, or you can get a different looking Yoshi. And now I'm like hooked on that part because I'm like, what different Yoshis can I get, dude? I'm going to kiss all these bastards. So I find it to be pretty fun, maybe a little easy, but not if you're trying to get everything in the level, which I normally don't even try to do, but this has really inspired me to go through, find all the yarns, find all the little happy flowers, and it is a good break from all the other spooky dooky stuff that I have been playing. So sometimes I just like the bright and colorful world of a Nintendo branded Yoshi game, dude.
Yeah, man. I mean, Yoshi's Woolly World got to be about the polar opposite of the mortuary's assistant, right? So
Oh yeah.
a good little palate cleanser. I'm with you on this one. I played through it a couple years ago, and I remember being surprised. It felt closer to me to the spirit of Yoshi's Island than I expected going in, because people have a lot of like, I think everything Yoshi and I guess Kirby post Kirby's Epic Yarn, people have kind of the same take on, where they're like, it's boring, it's for kids, I don't know, whatever, who cares. But I remember playing it and being like, well, yeah, it's not hard, but the level designs and like the way that they've hidden secrets and stuff like that felt very intentional and very well done. And so I enjoyed it a lot, kind of with that Super Nintendo game in the back of my mind.
Very good. I hear that there is some lag, so I apologize for anyone that is being exposed to my Appalachian internet quality. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it
Yeah,
when you
absolutely.
played it.
People seeing the leg now they realize how every single episode of Polykill always goes. So the
The
magic of
power of
post.
editing.
Magic of post. So the only thing I'm playing that other than the game that we share is continuing to chip away at Silksong. For all you Silksong heads out there, I'm going a lot slower than you, but I got into Act 2. I just made it into Act 2. You know, you kind of like achieve the main objective you've been working on for the first chunk of the game. And I thought that there's a boss right before that. It's called like the last. I shouldn't say the name. I guess that might be a spoiler. It starts with an L. People will know it. I thought that was a really well done boss. A lot of the bosses in Silk Song are interesting because I feel like they all only have like 3 attacks. So it's just like you getting really good at identifying those 3 attacks and responding appropriately. But once you do, you're like pa 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 pa, pa like barely getting touched. So I know there's been a lot of like there's been much to do about the difficulty of Silksong, and I'm sympathetic to people that are frustrated with it. But for me, the balance has been pretty good. I actually find, I guess, the boss is easier than the main exploration. I die more when just like running around the world than I do in the actual boss fights. So still great, still having a good time with it. I sure have like 25 hours ahead of me, but happy to keep chipping away for the rest of my 30s and eventually beat Silksong someday.
Hey man, I'm glad it's meeting expectations. You always worry about things like that that are so anticipated that they come out and everyone's pretty happy.
Yeah.
And if it's a little too hard, that's not the worst complaint. Um, Good. Well, let's get into this one that we share. Just came out hot off the presses,
Yeah.
getting the SEO up. And of course, this was Brizz's idea when it comes to me because I don't have a PS5, nor do I even have on my radar that buying a game released this year is something that I can possibly do. So he picked up Silent Hill F for us. Still not sure what the F stands for. So far, fun, I think, would be good enough word.
Yeah.
We've only played a couple hours. We played a couple hours last night, and I guess just some basic remarks since it'll be coming back when it's actually done. It jumps into the action pretty quick. I like
It
that.
does.
It feels like a slow build up at first. There's maybe like maybe 30 minutes of kind of getting the hang of it, and then it just went wide open. Now you're being chased. A lot of I don't know, what do you call it now? Was it like creeping floral horror?
Yeah.
Maybe is
Yep.
the whole genre, and that's cool. A lot of the enemy designs are. And there was a couple parts that were actually kind of difficult. I don't know if you got to the part where you got to go through and flip over all these tags to find a code to go through a door.
Yeah.
That took a while for us to figure out, and it was also very stressful because there's a guy chasing you. But the enemy design and the sound design and just the look and feel of it is all very very good so far. Again, only 2 hours
Mm-hmm.
in, but I really think it's a good entry for Silent Hill.
Yes, I think Sprite in the chat says it best that the F stands for Silent Hill Fatal Frame, because this game really does, with its setting, feel like a Fatal Frame game, because it's like Japan in the 60s in like a
Hmm.
rural town. Um, I think that there's like two sides of it. I think in terms of the atmosphere, they like absolutely nailed it, even though this is like an entirely different setting, right? Like this is completely separate from all of the Silent Hill that we've known, the American city. I still feel like with like the fog and the enemy movements and like the general just kind of vibe, the music in particular being so good that they have captured like the tension and the fear of Silent Hill, and the story, I think I'm a little further than you, seems to be
Mm-hmm.
capturing
I'm with you.
the like psychological components that are usually an element of a Silent Hill story. There's a lot of like people going through their own mental struggles and like those things sometimes manifesting literally in the world, or sometimes you're not sure if the world is reflecting their thoughts or if it's really like that. So they do all that stuff really well. The thing that I was surprised by is the combat is so much more action
Yes.
focused
Yeah.
than a typical Silent Hill game. Now maybe it's just because like the world has moved on, but this is a Silent Hill game where there's like perfect counterattack parries and like perfect
Mm-hmm.
dodges. You have a dodge that is like 3 meters long. Like it's like a Dark
It's so
Souls
crazy.
dodge. Like
It's so good you had to use the standard, like the metric system to explain it. That's how good it is.
yeah,
It's every bit of 3 meters. It is really fun, and it's also a lot more like combat mechanic heavy than it's specifically for Silent Hill. They've never really had that level of like we're still we're 2 hours in and we're still getting like, all right, now here's a new thing that you can do combat wise. It's like, my
yeah,
gosh, this is more of a, I mean, it's not a great analog, but it feels like almost like a Souls game, just with the amount of
yes.
like parry and attacks and power attacks and light attacks you can do.
Yeah, light and heavy attack. You get like a something called like a focus attack, which basically increases like the parry window on your attack.
Yeah.
So it's not for those that get nervous hearing that. I would not call this like fully
No.
Souls like, but there is some like reading of your enemies' animations and like making combat decisions based on that, which is pretty kind of core pillar to what a Souls game is. So yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm having a great time. It is every bit as scary as I want it to be. I pooped myself a couple of times, and
Did you really? My God.
yep, that doesn't take
That
much. All right, I'm like top spot in VR, man. Just a little spook, and it starts shooting. So
apparently my audio cut off, or people are complaining that they didn't hear what I said for the with the enemy design. But they're gross and decrepit. They're refreshingly new, but they're still very much Silent Hill.
yes,
And that's not really saying much. So it didn't cut off anything important to what I said. But I do like them. Floral inspired Silent Hill enemies. Take that for what it's worth.
yeah, and
You're welcome.
they have all the like unsettling kind of like jerky animations that a
Mm-hmm.
Silent Hill enemy is known for. You think like the nurses and stuff, but it's interesting because there's like that little bit of Souls energy, a little bit of reading the enemy's patterns. You're trying to read like these horrifying jerky movements to like predict attacks at the same time. So
Yeah.
it makes you kind of like stare down the barrel of a gun in a weird way, which increases the scares in a certain degree. So
One fun thing I want to add before we move on here is that I guess you have an option at the beginning of whether you want English dubs or if you want the Japanese voice acting with English subtitles, which is the way that we went.
yeah,
And
same.
so everything in the game is, all of the artifacts that you pick up. I mean, other than your journal, which is in English, but a lot of things are in reference to Japanese words and things. And last night we were playing, and you're picking up things that have Japanese names, and to the point that when we picked up a bandage, I looked at Briz. I was like, "What's a bandage? What is that? What do you think that is?" And he's like, "That's bandage." I was like, "Oh, that one's in English. That's my bad."
It just threw you
So,
off. Yeah.
it threw me off. But yeah, it's really good, very fun. Everyone should play it.
Yeah.
I mean, so far, play at least the first 2 hours because that's all I can confidently tell you is good.
It's it's not gonna get slept on, but like it did come out the same day as 1.0 Hades 2, so it might be a little bit slept on. So it's cool to see Konami like out here just making like a full on new game, just
They're
doing it.
such a weird company now. I don't understand.
They just want money. They don't care about making games. They just want money, and they figured this is a good way to do it. So
Yeah. Well, speaking of money, a lot of people that listen to this podcast spend a lot of it to play a lot of games and beat them just so they can get their names called out here on the podcast, and we're all for it. So, Steve,
mm-hmm.
we got some Polykillers coming up. Any drama this time around for the big old live stream?
Not any particular drama. Not drama proper, I would say. I mean, these are names that you're familiar with. These are folks that you would expect to see up on the leaderboards. But I
Mm-hmm.
do want to just give a little small shout out to Discord friend Huge Muffin. And I don't always do this, but
Big muffin, dude.
Huge Muffin, whenever I see a name that isn't a frequenter in the leaderboards in the runner up or the polykiller position that comes like one game shy, and that's a little atypical for them, I feel bad because like they're just a victim of when I decided to pull the beats, right? Like they beat a couple games after this, they could have done it, but they didn't. So just before we read these folks proper, I just want to say Huge Muffin, I'm a huge fan. You did a good job. So
All right. And you heard the man earlier. He also loves a decent sized muffin.
I
So
do. Yeah. So
there
I'm
you
speaking
go.
from the heart here.
All
But
right.
who we got in that runner up position, Trev?
Runner up, we got the one, the only Michael Conde Brainiac 345. Finished The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. Cars? Huh?
Hmm?
Get her done. Death Stranding Director's Cut. The Mummy Demastered. Custom Robo, Wario Blast featuring Bomberman. Get those two together, see what happens. Thor, God of Thunder on the DS. Godzilla Unleashed, Attack of the Friday Monsters, a Tokyo Tale, believe you've played that, or
Yep.
something similar. And the Big Blue Blur, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Heck
What a
yeah.
smattering. We always say it, Brainiac, always dipping into a few different piles. You love to see it.
Mm-hmm. Brainiac keeping it interesting. And in our Polykill spot, it's a name you know, recognize, you love. It's the Elite MYT, who tell me if you could spot a couple trends in here.
Okay.
Beat Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog, Perfect Dark, Pokemon Friends, Chef's Love Sack. Chef's Love Sack? There's your episode. There's your episode title. Sexy Parodius, Beetle Adventure Racing, Star Wars Squadrons, Star Wars Rebel Strike, Star Wars Rogue Leader, not Rouge Leader,
Ah,
Battle for Naboo, Courier Crisis, Sonic Jam, Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Arkin Age. 16 great games there, and awful lot of Sonic the Hedgehog.
awful lot of Blue Blur. And we got a donation right in the midst of that, but I didn't catch much of the detail. What do you got over there?
We got it's an anonymous donation, 5132, but looks like they're trying to get us to a nice donation total there.
Ah, oh, I see. Very cool. Please, whoever you are, Mr. Anonymous, Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous, if you'd like to, please sling out a hot seat question into the chat, and we'll be happy to answer it.
Yeah.
But yeah, good job there, MYT. Love to see the Blue Blur get a little action. Now,
Absolutely.
speaking of which, let's transition right into the old random beat squeets. Squeets? That's the second time I've done that. Today. MYT Sonic the now was this a typo that turned into a Discord meme? Because we got Edgehog, which I love. I love a good Edgehog. It's on the Saturn. 4 out of 5 stars. Fun game, although this emulated version seemed to run pretty poorly for some reason. I can run Panzer Dragoon Saga, but not Sonic the Flippin' Hedgehog. Let me tell you, the Blue Blur's fast, MIT. I don't know if you know about this. Anyway, good game, better than Sonic 2 at least. I take a little umbrage with that, but no, very good. Sonic on the Saturn. Why not?
Yeah. Definitely a lot of Sonic the Hedgehogs this time around. That is for sure. Speaking of the legend, Huge Muffin here. They just beat Peak. Says this is a co-op climbing game that has you playing as scouts stranded on an island, and you need to climb to the peak to signal for rescue. The island is an absolute madhouse mixture of different biomes that will readily kill you. I had a great time playing this with my wife and brothers. We shared laughs and screams of dismay alike over the 7 hours it took to get our first win. Forgot to take any screenshots other than the credits because I was clenching every muscle in my body, hoping not to fall. We also unlocked additional difficulty modifiers on finishing the first run, so I will definitely keep playing this one. And yeah, this is a game that like blew up on Twitch. Very, very popular right now. And I'm glad that you enjoyed it too much, Muffin.
Yeah, good job, Big Muff. This next one is from our good pal Scotch and Hobbies, and one that I recently brought up in a top 5 arcade cabs I'd like to have on Drunk Friend. He just beat Cruisin' Blast. Says it's a perfect. He says fist switch beat. I don't know if that's. I don't know if fist is the word that he meant. We'll see. Switch beat because this game rules. All golds on normal and hard. All keys found. All cars unlocked. Ready for some multiplayer fun with friends. Calling this a beat here, but we'll probably grind the extreme difficulty to try and get golds there. Also, we got a bit of a completionator on our hands, but I love that game. It's a great game, and the
So
arcade
good.
cab is phenomenal.
So good. I love it. To the point where there's like an arcade right next to my kid's daycare, kind of like a Dave and Buster's sort of thing. And when he was like 1.5 years old, he would want to just walk into the arcade and sit in the Cruise and Blast cabinet and just watch the attract screen.
Yeah,
Want to
dude,
hear
it's
that
cool.
song play? Cruising. It's so good. Ooh, we got one here from Briz. Notice that this one didn't show up on any of your list. I think he might be playing some spooky without you.
I know, and I just picked this one up for us to play together, and he went ahead and cheated on me.
Oh, it's Bramble. Bramble, a dark fairy tale platformer akin to Little Nightmares or Inside. Brutal and gory, but also beautiful. Some true artistry on display here, from the graphics to the music to the paintings and illustrations. Definitely recommend. Yeah, this one looks so cool. I also picked up a copy recently because I saw it go on sale, and I'm like, this game just seems so much fun. So glad you enjoyed it.
Right on. Up next, we got our good pal Hamburguesa Champion, who recently was involved in an unfortunate car accident. Burger, we hope you're okay. Don't try to
Yeah.
smash our burger. You know, if I find out who it is, Burger, I'm going to beat the shit out of him. This is Split Fiction. All right. Hazelight once again proved that they're the masters of, he says, go up gaming. Probably meant co op, but we'll see. With another masterpiece. I was going to say it might have been the car accident, but actually this occurred before that. So no excuses, Burger. That should have been co-op. Check your thumbs. It says the narrative can get a bit cringy and extra at times, but I'd overall say this game is better than another masterpiece, It Takes Two, in pretty much every way. Better level design, more creative powers, better reasons to team up, cooler settings, and just more spectacle. This is truly a roller coaster ride from top to bottom. The last level does things no other game has ever done and had us wowing and oohing and eyeing the whole way. A no questions asked must play if you have a co-op partner. One of the best games of the year.
Yep. Hard agree with all that, and I especially agree with I don't want to spoil it for you, Trev, but the final run of levels,
Mm-hmm.
just very mind blowing, very creative, very clever. It's like you see it and you're like, this is so smart, and I also can't believe no other game has done this before. So,
Oh, can't
yep,
wait.
yeah, great stuff. Sprite and I had a fantastic time playing through that one. Speaking of fantastic times, we got one from Mr. Sparkle. Silent Hill 2. Keeping with the Silent Hill train. This is the 2024 remake, by the way.
Okay.
Says superbly handled remake with excellent performances from the actors. Narrative still feels compelling and audacious as it did when the original came out. Allows multiple aspects of grief, trauma, and guilt to coexist without forced resolution. Some very minor gripes about sections of the game feeling padded, but mostly just superb. Played this on Steam Deck, which required a bit of experimentation as it's not officially supported. If you can play it any other way, I'd recommend that, but the deck is viable with some tweaking. Ugh, I gotta play this remake. I gotta get around to it. But now I got Silent Hill F, so it's not even the Silent Hill game for me this year.
Hush those hills, baby. Keep playing them. Play them all. Why not? Uh,
True. He's thinking really hard. Like, really hard.
I do want to stop and say screen froze. Am I good? You're back. All right. I'm gonna keep trucking unless somebody screams.
You're here. You're here. Your audio and your face are two different things, but by God, I hear you now.
Okay. Just beat it. Dear Esther, this is from our good pal Rob O. King Octavius. All right, he says, it's been a while since I've played this, and I planned on playing for 30 minutes today, but then I couldn't stop. Dear Esther is a top 3, maybe even top 2 all-timer for me. It is just a short meditative walking simulator about 90 minutes long, and I don't even really understand it, but something about it is just beautiful. I don't want to oversell this game because I don't think my sentiment is the common one. It has only 53% positive ratings on Steam, but something about it is special to me. It also happens to have possibly my favorite game soundtrack ever. And I find that interesting. I played this game and it was just sort of like checking it off as I went, like, okay. And it is interesting to me when I find someone so uniquely drawn to it, like King Octavius is here. And I know for its time, it was a beautiful game, and it probably still holds up quite well. So I don't know, I just think that's an interesting take on this one. Thanks for sharing that, Rob.
Yeah, and I love to see people like Rob with such varied taste. Like Rob has been playing a bunch of like old PC point and click games, like Space Quest games and stuff like that. And then here he's like, oh yeah, this 2021 or whatever walking
20,
sim,
like
2018.
2012 maybe.
Oh yeah, it's probably a lot older than that. This 2012 walking sim is my fave, so that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of my fave, we got a Brainiac 345, Michael Conde beat The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D.
Ooh.
Says for this game, I've beaten it and collected all the masks. This is another great Zelda remake. The base game is still fantastic, and the few quality of life improvements added definitely make the game better. That's a dang good beat right there. Fantastic one.
Heck yeah, good job. Love to see it. Was reading about this, like, should I play this one over the N64 version or should I just play them both because I'm that kind of guy? Probably gonna play both. Um,
Yeah.
Also, I do want to mention, you got about 10 minutes left, folks. You can go ahead, you can donate, get us a hot seat question in because we're just going to fade out reading the beat tweets. There's no discussion here. It's just going to be whatever you tell us to do and beat, I should say, Skeets, until to come on playing a little bit of Blasphemous. So if you got donos and you want us to answer a fun question, do it now. You got 10 minutes.
Yeet.
Until then, though, we got our good pal Vi, the big old sperm German here. Stick Fight, the game.
Hmm.
On PS4 is probably a real romp with other players, but online multiplayer didn't work except for one time where no one but me could move, and after I killed them, we all sank into the ground and couldn't start a new round. Did it solo. Also, got that platinum. He won't be outdone. He's got to get that platinum in. That's what it's all about. So I guess good job.
He 100% just played this game to help out our trophy hunting team in the competition. He had no interest in it and probably hated it the whole way. So we appreciate you, Vyar.
Classic VR.
Speaking of someone that I do appreciate the whole way, Guido, who beat Unboxing the Cryptic Killer. The last one I didn't play yet in the series. This one has a simplistic setup, but maybe I liked it the most of all. Very fun co-op puzzle series. Highly recommended. And hereby I have beaten 3 games from the same developer in 2025. Congrats on your bingo square, Guido.
Yes, good job, Guido, and good luck here in the middle of the night in the States, arm wrestling John Romero. Can't wait to see that live. We got a hot seat from Rob. He sent in the big dono earlier. He says, "What do you choose?" I'm going to sling this one to you first, Steve. Sex bot, housework bot, or job bot?
Oh my god. That's tough. I think I'm better at sex than any machine, so I don't think a sex bot could keep up with me. So it's down to
Hmm.
housework bot or job bot. The question is, if I had job bot, well, I'm assuming I still get paid if I have job bot. Like they can't be upset if I make job bot do my job. Assuming job in like terms of work bot and not some of the other kinds of job. But I don't know that I would successfully get the housework done given the time because I'm just so lazy even without a job. So I think Housework Bot. Certainly, I think Sprite would agree that we would benefit most from Housework Bot. So that's it for sure. Trav, I think I might know which one you'd go for, but please let me know.
Well, I can't do job bot because I don't have a job, and these bots are already taking my job, so I need a job. So job bot out. Um, Let's see, sex bot. I'm going to leave that one on the table just for a second while I think through housework bot. You see, I like actually doing housework. It's my time to put in the headphones. That's where I get most of my podcasts, my audiobook listening in. I kind of mellow out. It gives me time to think. I don't mind it. Sex, I love. I love it. Is it replacing me or am I having sex with? I have sex with a bot. I don't care. I mean, I've already.
He's wistful. He's
Let me
just
add it.
looking.
So maybe Sexbot. Final
Sexbot?
answer. Final
Se-
answer.
Sexbot it is. All right. He's happy to replace himself in that process with automation. Interesting
Is it
choice.
replacing me or am I doing it? See, that's why I'm confused.
I mean, the other two are replacing you in that
If it's
role, so.
replacing me, then how I get? If it's replacing me, just job bot me anyway. Just take it. You've
That's,
already taken it. Just
that
take it.
sounds like you're still talking to Sexbot when you say just
Let
job
me
bot me.
do the sex. Let me do it. I'm the one who sexes. Up next, we got Josh Leslie, and Josh Leslie, Lego Voyagers. He says it has a cute and charming story with excellent graphics and music. The vehicle handling was rough, which holds this game back from greatness. Damn you, lending minigame. All in all, lovely and worth playing. Very good. I don't know. I never heard of the. I don't do much of the Lego stuff there, but do you do Lego stuff ever? You a
Nah,
Lego guy?
I'm not a Lego guy.
Yeah. Well, this one looks charming. I like it graphically. It looks really good.
Yeah, it does look quite nice. So, Josh, interesting pick.
Yeah, good enough.
Got one here from Kurgan at Quirgan. Best thumbs in the games. Says number 203, Zezes?
Uh-huh.
Zexes? Xexex, which doesn't even sound like a real game. A Konami shmup that isn't very well known or very easy to read. Visually a spectacle, the Warp Stage 6 is especially cool, but with some interesting mechanics, but difficult to the extreme. Played it for the spectacle, but don't expect to 1cc it. So, never heard of this game. Does seem cool. Good stuff.
Kurgan should have put at the very end there. I'm the one who's X's, right? Yeah, it'd have been fun. Get it? Did you get that?
Yeah.
All right. Up next, we got JJS Boys.
Boys!
I've been digging through the excellent Atari 50 for months now. It's more an interactive documentary than a video game. Can I still say I just beat it? Of course you can. Yes, I'm clearly not beating Cybermorph or Ninja Golf. I've tried. And I need some credit for my time. Validate me, Polykill Podcast. Buddy, you stand validated.
Yep.
Good work out there. Way to be.
We respect it. And we got one here from LHC Greg. Just beat Flipnik, a weird, unrealistic pinball game for the PS2 with missions to complete to unlock the next table. I did not like the table design. Too many areas difficult to escape from and areas with weird physics. Pad its link by including mirrored table versions. And all that is true, Greg, but the game is so weird that I'm like, I don't care. It's still fun.
Still fun. Also, somebody in the old chat there tried to, they said that Xexes is pronounced. We know Xexes, but this is different. This is XEXEX was the game from earlier. Completely different game than the classic NES game that starts with an X that no one could seem to pronounce.
Yeah.
Up next, we got For Real Fan, Mark Martin 5. All right, hallelujah. Skate. All right, here you go, Steve. I know you like the Skater Boys. All right, you little Avril. Doesn't have a traditional story with credits, but they have a main tour which serves as a tutorial and shows you the best spots. Completed it, and it was actually really helpful to learn tricks. And the finale was an epic climb to the top of the city. 3 out of 5. All right. Big time Skater Boys.
It's only because of For Real Fan that I even knew that there's a new skate game. I had no idea. So,
Well, sounds like you're not a For Real fan, and he is, so.
that's so true. Someone I am a For Real fan of, though, Potomax, who says, I picked up Dead Cells after 10 years to finally just beat it. Movement and combat is still peak. I wasn't as hot on the roguelike aspects of it. Losing a run 30 minutes into a new boss feels bad. Turned on a couple of assists to make it my own. Great ass game. You're darn right about that, man. That's a good one. I gotta go back and finally get the W on that. I got so close and I never did it. I gotta just get back in there.
See, it seems like a common trend. I was also one that put it down and picked it back up and did get through to the end. And I encourage you to do it, Steve. Come on, buddy. You
Maybe I
can
will
do
here.
it. If I can do it, you can do it. All right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now, yeah, now lastly, and leastly, we have the one and the only and our streamer at, was it 4 p.m. coming up here Eastern?
Coming
We
up
have Captain Drachma.
next, right?
He's
He's right after us.
Pam is next, I believe.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. Pam is next. Up next, though, right here on the Just Beat It's Captain Drachma.
Yeah.
Hollow Knight Silk Song. What can I say about this game that hasn't already been said? It is an absolute masterpiece that follows up on its predecessor admirably. Gorgeous art style, beautiful soundtrack, tough as nails gameplay. It is nearly perfect. There you go. People are saying it's perfect, Steve. I don't want to hear a gripe out of you when you beat it.
I mean, I will say, if you want my opinion at this point, so far I like the original Hollow Knight more. But I'm early. Sorry.
Easy, buddy.
But
Easy.
it's still quite good. Good. So.
Well, we are here at the end of our beat tweets, beat squeets, Discord beats.
Yep.
We want to thank you all for one tuning in to this live podcast, but also being here for the charity stream first and foremost. And if you donated, especially, thank you very much. Thanks for slinging out the hot seat questions. We really appreciate it. Please stick around. A lot of you are already here for Pam. She's going to be playing Blasphemous here in a couple of minutes. We have maybe, if you're quick, we could maybe do one quick hot seat.
Yeah.
But it's got to be now or never. Otherwise, your donations will file in toward whatever incentive Pam has for you. But again, thank you everyone for tuning in to this, and looking forward to your stream tonight, Steve. Do you have other streams coming up for the week that you can tout for folks before we separate here?
Oh yeah, we are full on scary season, full on spooky games. I will say we've got one coming up. I don't want to give it away. I'll say it's on the Game Boy line of systems. And you might think that there's not a lot of survival horror on the Game Boy, but there's definitely some October-appropriate Game Boy games. So stay tuned.
All right. Staying tuned. Okay, I think we're ready for our transition. So do you want to count down Pam and we can...
Do we know that Pam is ready? Was she in the chat saying she's all set?
Pam is always ready, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, count us down then, buddy.
All right. Get ready for some Cannot Be Tamed Blasphemous in 3, 2, 1. Sayonara.
Peace.